Hello, friends. I'm Jessica, and you are watching The Reclamation, a twice monthly publication from Meridian Integrative Wellness that inspires courageous action for inside out healing. Experts estimate that we have up to 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80 to 90% of those are repetitive and/or negative. So it's safe to assume that our well being is impacted tremendously by our internal communication. So the voice inside your head that's ultimately directing your thoughts and your actions and your emotions. My goal here today is to teach you about what author Byron Katie calls the work, so you can use it to help yourself through our 2-week inner dialogue challenge. Number 2, to give you additional resources that will be helpful to you in this process. And 3, give you some pro tips to help get you through the challenge so you can harvest the prize, which is more inner peace. I first learned about Byron Katie and the self-inquiry method that she calls the work over a decade ago. It is truly a simple and beautiful tool that anyone can use to free themselves from emotional pain. Painful emotions are simply just signals that it's time to inquire, to look closer, and to find truth. So here it goes. I'm going to give you the most simplified version of this that I can with an example from my own life. Then I'm going to link some resources for a deeper dive so you can really grasp this concept before you begin your 2-week inner dialogue challenge. So there are 4 steps to this process, and you'll find these on your Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, which is linked below. This is mine, and I'm going to share with you that in just a moment. So first, you notice. Second, you write. Third, you question. And fourth, you turn it around. So let me explain those a little bit further. When you notice, you're just paying attention to who or what upsets you. Why? Recall a specific situation. Write. So you're going to capture your stressful thoughts on your Judge Your Neighbor worksheet using short, simple sentences. You'll stay anchored in the situation at a specific moment in time, and you'll write down your responses to the questions on the worksheet, and you're just going to use those short, simple sentences. Third, and here's where some real magic happens, is the questioning, okay? Here you're going to isolate one thought, and you're going to ask 4 questions and allow the genuine answers to just simply arise. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought is true? And lastly, who would you be without that thought? And then fourth, you're just going to turn it around. Turn the thought around. Is the opposite as true or truer than the original thought? So I'm going to share my example from my Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And I'm just going to read this off, make it as short and clear as possible. The first question is, in this situation, who angers, confuses, hurts, saddens, or disappoints you, and why? So my response is, I am frustrated with my child. I'm not going to name the said child. I don't want to call anyone out, but I am frustrated with my child because they won't do their chores in a timely manner. I'm sure that there are some other parents watching that can relate. Number 2, this addresses wants. In this situation, how do you want him or her to change? Who do you want him or her, or what do you want him or her to do? I want my child to keep their room clean and laundry put away without me having to give 10 reminders. Number 3 on this worksheet is around advice. So in this situation, what advice would you offer to him or her? So like he or she should or should not do something. So my child shouldn't disregard my requests. My child should do what I ask within a reasonable amount of time. Number 4, this deals with needs. Okay, so in order for you to be happy in this situation, what do you need him or her to think, to say, to feel, or to do? And my response is, I need my child to be more respectful of my requests for chore completion. I need my child to be more self-motivated. Number 5, this deals with complaints. So what do you think of him or her in this situation? Make a list. And it's okay to be petty and judgmental here, okay? So my child is disrespectful by ignoring my requests for chore completion. And then moving along to question number 6. What is it about this person and situation that you don't ever want to experience again? I don't ever want to feel that I'm being disrespected. I don't ever want to scream at my child because of my own frustration. So I completed and just shared with you this entire worksheet, and now it's time to pick one of these and examine it a little bit further. So I'm going to look at the idea that my child is disrespectful by ignoring my request for chore completion. All right, so is it true? Is it true that my child is disrespectful by ignoring my request for chore completion? This is a hard one. Um, my knee jerk reaction is to say yes, yes, my child is being disrespectful. Um, the next question is to say, can you absolutely know that it's true? This question calls me to really dig a little bit deeper, and upon some further investigation, what I found out is that no, it's not. I cannot know that it's absolutely true that my child is being disrespectful to me by ignoring my request for them to do their chores. I don't know what this kid's motivation for not doing the chore is, or for what I perceive as ignoring my request. Um, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? So, when I believe the thought that my child is being disrespectful to me by not doing their chores, what happens in my body is I can feel the tension building, the frustration, and I literally feel it coming up until it's up to here. And I feel as if I have to yell in order to get my point across, which increases my frustration because I don't want to be that parent who yells at their kid. So that's what happens to me when I believe that that thought is true. And then number 4, who or what would you be without the thought? So if I was not attached to the thought that my kid is being disrespectful by not doing their chores, um, I think that I would feel freer, right? I wouldn't feel as frustrated um, at all. And at this point, I'm not exactly sure how to get there, how to let go of that feeling of frustration, but that's where the turnaround comes in. So turning around that thought that my child is disrespectful by ignoring my request for chore completion. There can be a lot of different possibilities for the turnaround. So it could be that I'm being disrespectful of me in this situation, and in some ways, yeah, maybe that could be true because I'm I'm resorting to yelling. That's not in alignment with who I am, who I want to be. So yes, that's a possibility. Another one is another turnaround for my child is being disrespectful. Could be that my child is actually honoring their own needs for play and downtime by ignoring my request for them to complete their chore. So when I really sink into that thought that my kid is honoring their own needs for play and for downtime instead of doing the chore that I ask, my body has a completely different reaction. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to address the chore being done, because the chore still needs to be done, but my reaction to it and the way that I would approach it is completely different. So I hope that you can glean some insight for yourself in my example. But I'm going to also link a lot of other things so that you can explore this a little bit more on your own and even see some additional examples. So today you learned a few different things. First of all, you learned why it's important to periodically examine what's going on in your mind. Just because you think it does not mean it's true. There are multiple possibilities for truth, and what you choose to believe directly impacts your experience of life and relationships. And then secondly, you learned how to do the work, and I gave you an example from my own life. Plus, I've invited you to participate in our 2-week inner dialogue challenge so you can do the work for yourself. And I've given you a few additional resources that are all linked below so that you can get started. So now it's time to take your insight and your learning from today and turn it into action. So first, you're going to download the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet from Byron Katie's website, which is linked below. And then you're going to decide if you're committed to participating in our 2-week inner dialogue challenge. If so, you think about what time of day works best for you to do the work. How long will you spend doing the work? And here are a couple of pro tips. Even if you give a commitment of 5 to 10 minutes daily, this can be really, really beneficial to you. And then also consider stacking it with a habit that you already have established. So, if you have your coffee every morning at 6:20, maybe you set your journal down and have your coffee and do this work, or maybe you do it after you have your coffee. And repetition is important here. That's why it's a 2-week challenge. So you have 14 opportunities to turn your thoughts around and start feeling better. So pick up your journal and write out your answers, or share your thoughts with other people, or even better, do both. Sure, you could just think about how you're going to take action, but I strongly urge you to talk to another human about it, or leave a comment below, or even shoot me an email, because sharing your thoughts and your ideas with other people helps build momentum and excitement and insight, and it leads to more action, which is precisely why you're here. You want to make some change to get healthier. Becoming awake to the thoughts that have always sort of run in the background of your mind unquestioned is profound work toward healing. If you're ready to make some big changes in how you respond to stress, please do join me for this inner dialogue challenge over the next 2 weeks. It will change your life. Email me to let me know that you're in. It's Jess, Jess, at meridianiw.com. That's meridianiw.com. And if there's enough interest, I'll set up a call over so that we can go over some particulars, share insight, and learn from each other. Now, if you're here because you're ready to transform your life and your health in terms of calming chronic symptoms, having more energy, improved mood, sleep quality, and reducing pain and inflammation, check out what I have to offer with one-on-one coaching. You might have been thinking about making healthy changes for a long time now, but you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure what to do. Or maybe you know exactly what you need to do, but it's just that the changes that you try to make never actually stick. Well, you, my friend, are a perfect candidate to work with me. And I'm telling you, your quality of life, how you feel when you wake up in the morning and throughout your day will drastically improve. So go on over to meridianiw.com and check out more details for health coaching. And while you're on the website, if you're not subscribed to our email list, that's got to be top priority, because we send the best emails twice a month. They're inspiring, they're educational, and most importantly, they're going to help you help yourself to start feeling better. So get on that list. Now, until next time, you know what to do. Download the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet that's linked below. Decide when and how long you'll spend doing the Inner Dialogues challenge each day, and work some magic on your stress. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.